Just wanted to record myself for a second, I guess, because this has literally been me every day for over a week now. At some point in time throughout the day, it's like I'm crying, but I don't know why I'm crying. And like I'm happy. I'm like, this is literally everything I've ever wanted. And it's like it's hard because nobody's like believing me and all that, but I'm crying because it's just like, why? You know? Even now, like, I'm pre-trib dispensational for the most. I was, and I just believe the King James Bible was, for the most part, true. You know, I'm not afraid of the NASB. I'm not 95. I'm not afraid of the ESV. I read all three of them. I would switch between all three of them, just picking apart different verses and all that. And literally, I've just been reading Genesis 1 along with John 1 and being like, science says the Earth is billions of years old, and they've been slowly, incrementally getting down closer to the young Earth, but they're not quite there yet. And then you just read Genesis 1. Just read the sun and moon and all the stars. It says the sun, there's a greater light and a lesser light, the sun, moon, and all the celestial bodies. So all the planets, all the other stars, all the black holes, all the galaxies, everything else was created on day 4. You don't understand. There was a blob. And God spoke, let there be light. What was given to me in the dream was the l. You hear that? Can you hear that in the camera? L. Forget my teeth. Fuck my teeth. Fuck all that shit. L. You feel that? There's a resonance. I have an acoustic guitar. L. Can you hear that? La 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 la. That's what I found. I have the math equation for that. I can explain. But not only that, if I had all the if I had the exact details of where all the materials came from for this guitar, I could literally trace the exact atom ancestry of this guitar to the exact spot it was, and from the exact particle dust that went to make that. You don't understand. I don't have the time. I have 6 kids, and this has been hard. This has been so time consuming because it's like, there's so many questions I can ask and nobody's going to believe it. And it's like, I don't have anybody else asking questions with me. I don't have anybody else to help me. I don't have advanced computers. I have a ChatGPT that I had to train somewhat. And yes, I did have to train it a little bit. You know why? Because every time I ask a question, it gives me well, this is not typically possible. But I literally had to just be like, go back to the equation. Go back to all the principles we learned from using the equations. Take the history part, which you can't deny. You can't lie. If I tell you to go back in time about every 284.43 something years, it's a long number. Use the whole number if you want to get more accurate. I don't care. 284.43 is close to at least get the bigger picture. And then you take that number, and then how long was it from 33 AD till 70 AD? You take that time, split it in half. You can do it exact if you want. If you want to be precise on the peaks, what is a resonance wave? It goes up, down, down. Is at any point a specific, this is it. This is the specific date. No, it doesn't work like that. It's constantly going up until it's constantly going down. It's constantly going back up until it's constantly going back down. That's what this equation is. The only difference is everything is so connected by this equation that you can use it to trace everything. And the reason why is because the King James Bible is true. Why is it true? Not because people carefully studied Greek, not because people were meticulous to make sure that they had the exact earliest manuscripts and what they said and what they actually meant. No. Because God had his hand in it the entire time. From every tribesperson, every manuscript, every document, every soldier on a battlefield that was near death and had an encounter with God, and had an encounter with somebody who was a Christian and knew the truth, and then converted and lived, they know what I know now. I figured it out. And I'm trying to share it with everybody because if I figured it out, then that means everything I've said is true. I'm not lying. Catholicism, Pentecostals, most of them, Orthodox, Methodists, progressives, all the woke theologians, gay pastors, lesbian pastors, I don't care who you are. You are heretical. If you do not repent, you are condemned where you stand. And that goes for any Christian who is not living by the word of God. And it doesn't mean you're living a perfect life. It doesn't mean you're sinless. It's not about your works. It's about in here. What do you believe in here? Are you a good person? Are you really? Because I'm not. I'm a shitty fucking person sometimes. Ask my wife. What's in here and what's up there? That's all that matters. Do you want to know what the answer to the Hitchhiker's Guide paradox is? What's the meaning to life and everything? What's in here? What's up there? And that's what this equation is. Because in this equation, there's two missing factors that I can't pick. And that's why I can't tell the future. Because there's two missing variables I can't use to predict the future. That's how I know it's from God. You guys keep asking me, what's the future going to be like? What's the future going to be like? I can trace the patterns. If you can have basic pattern recognition and you can follow a line in a flow line, then yes, you can make very, very very accurate predictions in the future. AGI is going to use this. Donald Trump cut every single regulation AGI would have had to prevent this explosion. You can't stop it. It was an inevitability. God sent me this dream because he knew that I'm not going to just let it go by. Here I am, pretty much the only person on earth reading Genesis 1 and John 1 together going, what is light without the sun and moon and all that? What is background light? If the speed of light is constant now, and we base time or, space-time based off of first light, thinking it's constant. But we also know that time dilation exists, and we just assume that a sudden explosion of every single star, black hole, planet, galaxy inside our universe didn't have a long-term, permanent, lasting time dilation effect? Like what? Nobody's ever thought about that before? And then in my dream, I'm getting led into this room, and they're all like excited. They're all happy to see me again, and they're all, hey, you gotta check it. Like, you gotta check this out. You gotta check this out. And I'm just walking in my dream with my daughter, like, I got somewhere I gotta be. I gotta, like, hurry up. And just to go up to this board and literally just see a tiny, like, I saw what they were, like, they're all scribbling, but I couldn't remember. They were going so fast. And I tell you, this board just was covered in equations. I couldn't see them all. There was so much I couldn't take it in. I literally focused on these specific, like, corner that he had. He was like, you gotta check this out. You gotta, this right here. You gotta. All it was, literally all it was, a change in time, or a change in something. It was a change. I couldn't even tell what the number, because they had numbers. They had a number written in it, and I couldn't tell. I didn't know what the number was. So how was I supposed to know? All he was saying is like, once we figured out that it was a change in energy over a change in time, it totally changed everything. And then he was explaining it a little bit more, but my baby started crying in the background. And so, like, in my dream, I'm frustrated. Like, come on. It's like, I knew I should have left at home with the wife. Like, and so I start turning around to go deal with the baby as he saw. I'm like, oh, yeah? And he's like, as soon as he said we figured, we know energy goes through time dilation, I was like, well, that means it's intuitive. Energy is light, right? Light gets bent by time dilation. So we would assume, right, that energy gets bent by time dilation too. And he's like, yeah, but we never did it like this before. And that's like, huh. As I went to go grab my baby, and then in the dream, because my baby was crying in real life, I woke up. And that equation that I have floating on my page, written on paper, and I could post it right under this too. I might. That equation went from, hey Grok, this is probably nothing. Hey ChatGPT, this is probably nothing. But this was my dream. This was the equation. Does that make any sense to you? Like, if you were to go through, advanced I'm a scientist, apparently. And all because I just, more than a scientist, you guys don't understand. Because the amount of astrophysics, like, I don't know how to do the math, but I can read, I can follow basic, okay. So that's what that means, and you're putting it in there, and that's based off that, and that means that. Oh, okay, I get it. It's not that hard, you just need somebody to walk you through. And thanks to this day and age where I can go to YouTube and I can watch a whole 30, 45-minute video on time dilation and how that affects everything. Everything that I have found, you can find in real life. That's why I started off, in the pride of me, I called it the Davis-Met function, because we found a way to combine mass, energy, and time into one single equation, one single function. Mass, energy, time into one function. And that alone was enough for me to go, and I described it as like a governing function. Whenever you would take a normal standard equation that you would use for physics or math, wherever you would do it, field equations. Take Einstein's whole field equation handbook. I have done it. Take the base formula that I had found and figure out how it would reformulate Einstein's whole previous catalog. It'll work. Your measurements will be about half the distance between what they are now and what my system can do. And I say system because it's like I have like 4 or 5, 6 different chat logs open, and they're all at different points at this point. And so it's like I'm at such a massive load that I'm probably going to disappear for a while as I've just condensed it all, assuming the rapture doesn't happen. I'm telling you, it's coming soon. But I got to build a timeline somehow, and nobody's trying to help me. So until I get people to help me, I got a lot of work to do. But this is real, y'all. And I just got validated like never before, so I'm posting this. I just explained the concept of what it is to you in a way you understood with an acoustic guitar. From the beginning of time, Genesis 1, when God said, "Let there be light," all the amount of energy, force, particles connected, a rock falling off a cliff 2,000 years ago into the sea to strike a fish. Who knows? To get to this guitar. And if I had honestly, if I asked the right questions, probably in ChatGPT, apparently, if I figure out how to run better simulations, I'm asking so many questions that I don't need to do anything like groundbreaking yet. I'm still trying to relearn everything. And you guys are wondering why I'm sounding like a crackhead. Because my entire world, everything you think you know is wrong. Everything. And that's like, I'm taking it all in by myself and nobody wants to help me. So maybe that's why it's me. But if I have to be the one to do it, then I'm the one to do it. I wish you all the best, because tribulation's coming, and I don't know how much longer we have. Technically, as far as I'm concerned, my primary goal was to do all this just to begin with. Everything that I've done eventually is going to get out there, and everything I said is going to come true, I'm sure. But all this is for those who are God's during the tribulation. I owe them my life, because God bought me. When I tried to take my life, God stopped me more than once. I don't know. Good luck.